Hi there, my name is Diana.
And this is Karen.
And welcome to Mother Freaking Realtors. So today, guys, marks our 1 year anniversary. And so that's the most annoying sound ever. And I will not give this to my children, but just, because we're celebrating. So we're going to go over just things that, we couldn't have imagined hitting our 1 year mark. Oh my gosh. As you can see, I will explain why she is tallying in just a bit. But our 1 year mark to Mother Freaking Realtors. We're going to go over a little game we're going to be playing. And also, Karen.
Yes, so we're going to talk about land scams.
That's right.
This is this real estate side part of the podcast. And Diana mentioned about a game. What we're going to do, because guys, we don't have any scripts when we do our recording.
No.
As you can see, it's
retakes.
No retakes. This is very impromptu. So as you can see, sometimes we're all over the place. And it's not perfect, but it is what it is. This is what makes this podcast likable, is because we don't practice this. But I noticed
we keep it real.
Yes, but I noticed that we're really, really bad with our fillers. So Diana, her favorite word is, So sometimes I was like, oh my God, we should play a game one of these days where, we put $1 for every word she says, And I do that too. Or I say the word like. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to do a tally. So
I'm going to owe you.
Yeah, so
we brought $20, but I think it's going to go over $20.
Yeah, so we have a $20 bill. I'm going to do my best to do a tally. And whatever is the pot, it's going to go to our videographer, Derek, who's stuck with us for a year.
Shout out to Derek.
Yes, with our lousy schedule. In fact, today we're supposed to do it at 9 o'clock, but we completely forgot. I happened to look at my calendar, and Diana's was the same thing. We're just busy with kids and summer. We're just doing our best to get by. With the summer schedule. So I just said, so I have to write that down. Okay, so we're gonna have a fun with this game. So it's been...
We are. So first, let's go over 1 year. So 1 year, like I said, I couldn't have imagined us being here. It is very difficult to do a very quick video. Shout out to CB Home Source and Chris and Jason. Thank you so much for allowing us to do this. As you guys know, there's like a schedule where we go through Derek and we schedule in our time. So we're very thankful to do that and to also be able to film our podcast. But because it's run on a schedule, there's no retakes. So, what you get is what you see, and, we don't, just said, anyhow, so I'm just thankful for the opportunity that this gave us to do a different type of platform, to get out there for all of our viewers and people who do follow us. We're very grateful. And, to 1 year more of knows.
Okay,
Karen?
well, this is actually your brainchild, when we're not going to get anywhere with this podcast because of this filler, but this is actually you're actually the brain behind this podcast. I remember when we started working together, I was telling you, like, hey, you got to get out of your comfort zone. And then you brought this podcast idea. I was like, oh, my God, I really don't want to do that, Oh. So we're going to be tallying here for probably the next 30 minutes. But yeah, so this is Diana's brainchild, and I just wanted to say thank you for encouraging me to do it. I mean, as you can see, I don't speak perfect English sometimes. It's very typical for a Filipino guys. We switch our F and P's, and before you know it, you don't even know if you're talking to him or her or a she and a he. I always catch myself doing that, but it's just very, very common for me, And oh my God. And you're very fluid, like you speak very, very eloquently, and that, God. Okay. So, but yeah, thank you for letting me be a part of this. It really means a lot. And and so this is, I'm hoping
you're catching them.
Yes. So I, hopefully, oh my God. So this is gonna be a game the whole time. We're never gonna get anything done or said. But I just want to say thank you because you encouraged me, or you picked me to be with this podcast, and I'm hoping that we'll do it, for the next few years to come. Oh my God, I'm already at 8, guys. I only have $20. Okay, so what have you learned? Like, we're not the kind of people who's like, we're just putting it out there. We're not looking at how many people viewed it. We're just sharing our experience being a mom and being realtors, and whatever experience we have as realtors or whatever is going on, we do our best to share it to everybody, right? So,
Yes.
So that
I'm sorry, I just can't stop laughing.
so that they're aware. So
Yes.
So any like, what do you think? Do you think like? I can't even say anything right now, guys. I'm just at a loss.
Let me take over.
Okay, take over, because I don't know what to say.
My whole strategy was to keep Karen talking.
Okay.
Because then that way I can see them on my head. I don't have to worry about saying what I'm not supposed to say. But anyhow, yeah, I do get. It's funny because I don't think people actually. I find out after the fact. For instance, I'll hang out with family members or friends and they'll say, "Oh, I've seen you." And in my mind, I'm like, "Really?" Because sometimes I don't know how many people are actually viewing or things like that. And so it just is nice to see that we are reaching out to our family and friends, and whether or not there's comments or there or not, it is being seen. And there's so many platforms available, and we're trying to figure out which one is the best, right?
Yes.
Because we know that YouTube is very popular, but gosh, all the platforms are expanding.
Yes.
I heard that Facebook just added kind of like a Twitter thing.
Yes.
Not too long ago. So anyhow, there's just way too many platforms sometimes, and you just don't know how you're going to reach your audience. But definitely grateful. And I picked you, just so you know, because from the moment I met you, I can tell that you were hungry and humble. And back when I was in my corporate job, they taught us to look for people who were hungry and humble.
Okay.
And
I'll take that as a compliment.
yes, and it's a huge compliment, because when you associate yourself with someone who's hungry and humble, you're going to go further because they're willing to help you. And so knowing that you were hungry and humble, I knew that if I brought you on and convinced you to do it, then we were going to go far with the podcast, because our work ethic is the same. And we're both mothers, we're both realtors, and we're just trying to help others with their journeys. And that is the most important part. And so that is why, we're here at our 1 year mark. So I know I'm not going to keep talking. Let's pour this out.
Okay.
So I just watched a show. It's called Sweet Magnolias, I believe it is. And they say pour it out when they're having a drink together. So let's have a little drink together. And just FYI, this is sparkling cider, so we're not drinking this early. But
at 10
cheers.
o'clock in the morning.
Cheers to 1 year for MFR.
Yes.
And now let's go ahead and switch on over to real estate.
Yes.
So what's going on in the real estate?
So we're gonna talk about land scams right now. It's very rampant. And in fact, we also received an email. I think it was from the Department of Real Estate. It's also happening in Arizona. And I was just telling you, like, I printed some of the emails. I got an email or a call at the beginning of June, and at that time, we didn't receive these notices yet saying that there was a land scam.
Yeah.
So I got the phone call, and then this gentleman was asking, hey, I have a property that we want to list. It's in Lucerne Valley. Oh my God, I am gonna keep flipping this paper, but he said, want to put this on the market, and I just happened to be in front of my computer, so I looked up the parcel while he was talking to me, and I told him like, this property is not under your company name. This belongs to an individual. And he was like, oh well, we're actually in the process of buying it. We're in the process of buying it. As soon as we buy it, then we're gonna put it back on the market. So he was giving me, he was asking me for opinion or advice, like what should we list it for, as far as price goes, to make sure that it will sell quickly. That's what he asked me, and I said, this is Lucerne Valley. There's almost like 400 land listings in Lucerne Valley. There's no amount of discounted sales price, there's no amount of discounted sales price is gonna make this property sell quickly.
Right.
And that's what he was asking me. And then I even gave him like a land chart, I even gave him a land chart that came from Jason. You know how we have that commercial symposium every year?
Yes.
And then Jason comes up with this land graph. I really, really find those graphs very helpful. So
and if you would like one, reach out to Karen.
Reach out to us, and then we'll email you one. So on that graph, it shows that Lucerne Valley, as far as land sales goes, it's really, really slow. So I told him there's no amount of, even if you price it like very, very competitively, because there's so many land listings in Lucerne Valley, and because there's really not much out there in Lucerne Valley. A lot of people think that if you buy a property...
No, not yet.
Yes.
Eventually, yes. It'll be an investment for long term. Why did I butt in? Dang it, I should have kept my mouth shut. Just kidding. But
yes,
it's true, right?
And a lot of people have this idea that a lot of these people who bought their parcels 30 years ago, they think, let me hold on to it. And, 10, 20 years from now, it's going to go up in value. That's not really the case, because if you buy it out in the middle of nowhere, guess what? In 10, 20 years, it really hasn't appraised much.
It's not a developed area just yet.
Yes, and I always tell people who is interested in buying parcel, unless you're buying a commercial parcel or it's already close to an industrial area, then that's where the money is. But if you're buying something in Lucerne Valley, thinking that you bought it for $5, and then 20 years from now you're gonna sell it for $100, I don't think it's happening. And a lot of these people who bought these properties at high, now they're scratching their heads, because not only that they have to sell it low for now, they all these time they've been paying property taxes. They haven't even it's not even a break even for them. But anyway, so we got a lot of emails from our broker, from the Department of Real Estate. In fact, as of 30th of June, we received an email from our broker Chris that at that time we have 2 transactions that are land scams.
Right.
So what do we do to avoid these land scams, right? So quick question for you. So when you're taking a listing, do you ask the client to show you a driver's license? Like, hey.
No.
Yeah. So see, that's...
So normally when we take on a land listing, basically you ask for basic details about the land, you look it up, but you really never ask for the identity of the person to be revealed, other than what you see on screen and on paper.
Yes, and to me, honestly, I think it's very uncomfortable for me to meet somebody, even if it's a house, right? Even if it's a land or a house, you meet somebody for the first time.
Right.
I feel very, very uncomfortable talking to somebody like, hey, it's nice to meet you. Do you mind showing me your driver's license?
Right.
I mean, it's the best thing to do is to ask them for identification.
Right.
Any government, issued ID would be great. But I think just to bring their guard down, I think it would be best if we show our license card first. Like, here is my license card. Do you mind if I ask for yours? Because at least that kind of bring their guard down. Because I don't want somebody meeting me for the first time and asking me for my driver's license, right? Like, who are you? But then again,
But I think that if you were to explain to them, this is for your safety and reassurance that we are doing what we can to make sure that your property is being listed correctly, and that, unfortunately there are frauds. I mean, we see it every day, right?
Yes.
Our emails, recently, one of our realtors got hacked, their Instagram, with the, what was that called? The coin, what
Bitcoin.
The Bitcoin.
Was it
Something like,
Bitcoin? Yes.
I deposited $1,000 and I made $13,000 or something. And I had seen someone in my family that had said that, and it was rare because I didn't think that this person was, into Bitcoin. But anyway, it seems that hackers are, just going the extra mile to get, stop.
I'm very good at catching Phyllis.
I know. She's trying to get me to catch up to her tally.
I'm at 16. She's only at 10, so she needs to keep up.
So, anyhow, I think that if we were to explain to our client this is to benefit you,
Yes.
and just so you guys are aware of the things that are going on out there, it typically is targeting vacant land that has they typically target unencumbered property. So basically just vacant land that hasn't been attended to in a really long time.
Yeah,
Okay?
properties that have been bought for a long time. Yes.
Also, vacant land is usually involved. Otherwise, the chances of the true owner finding out are much higher. Ditto for estate property where the property has not been properly transferred to heirs after the death of an owner.
Yes.
So it's kind of in the limb.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's no owner basically because the
Correct.
owner passed. Yes.
Yeah. So, and believe me, people can find out so much about you on the internet.
Yeah, public records.
Public records. It's all accessible. So, a person doesn't have to do too much to figure out how to do these land scams.
Yes.
So, what are the precautions that we have to take as far as realtors?
Yeah, so as far as realtors, if you feel like there's something off about the transaction or about the person calling you, or if just the whole thing just feels iffy to you, ask them for their identification card. Like if the seller is not even from here, I said, do you mind sending me your driver's license, because I wanted to make sure that I put your name in the listing agreement correctly, so they don't feel like you're just fishing for their information.
Right.
Or another thing is, let's say for example it's under an LLC and you feel like there's something off, send a letter to the owner on record. Just tell them like, hey, I received an inquiry from this company. Are you thinking of selling your property? Because if that person is still alive and they're not selling, I can pretty much guarantee you that they're gonna reach back out to you.
And what they're doing is trying to also sell this very quickly.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
because they want the cash and fast.
Yes, and they also partner with escrow companies. It's all part of the scam. So by the time you realize that you've been duped, it's too late, because then the property already belongs to somebody else. So they're trying to get rid of the property as quickly as possible. And in fact, this email that I got at the beginning of June, I checked and it still belongs to the current owner. And then I also looked at their website. The website of this company, of this gentleman who called me, looks very, very legit. So I don't know if he is actually legit or not, but the fact that he told me that they were already in escrow trying to buy the property from the owner and it still hasn't, then to me there's
That's
something
a red
off.
flag.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you happen to have properties, that has been sitting there for a long, long time, I would suggest to double check, make sure there's nothing going on, or if you want, I have like $2, guys, and then that's it. I'm done. I'm up to $18, but anyway, so that's what we have right for now. If you want to know, like, if you guys just want to get a prelim or a property report of your land, just let us know. You can reach out to me or to Diana, and we'd be more than happy to hook you up with our title rep.
Yes, and also if you do have elderly people who have vacant lands, please always double check and make sure the title is good and still underneath their names if you want to do that, just to keep them safe, you know. And if you ever want to know the value of your land parcels, just reach out to us with no obligation. We can send you comparables around the area and what things are selling for, because other than Lucerne, if the parcels are in Victorville or Hesperia,
Apple Valley.
or Apple Valley, they are selling, and there's more interest there
Yes.
because the high desert has grown a lot
Yes.
throughout the years. So definitely the value is there. But other than that, I mean, just reach out. I know that that there was a gentleman who wanted a price for a parcel in Victorville, which was half an acre, and wanted to sell it above $80,000. And I'm like, no, like, this is in LA, you know,
Yes.
it will never be, you know, unfortunately, it's not that populated yet.
Yes.
You know, it's going to take many, many years for that. So just know that a lot of the times when we do give you comparables and an estimate about how much you're going to sell your land, it's pretty much accurate, and we can probably go maybe 5,000 up,
Yes.
5,000 low.
Yes.
But price is key, meaning that if you price it right, there's going to draw more attention. So
Yes.
what I mean by that is, if I tell you the value is 55,000, but you want to put it for 52.5, it's going to draw more attention
Yes.
versus putting it at 58.
Yeah.
So
Or 75 or 100.
yes. So just keep that in mind. We all want money. We get it, you know, but we know how it's going to sell. So if you would like that information, just reach out to me and to Karen.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Well, thank you guys for watching.
Mother freaking realtors.
We're going to do that again.
Okay, let's do it again. Okay.
Thanks for watching
Mother
Mother Freaking
Freaking Realtors.
Realtors. Cheers.